What's up, boys? So here in the past month or so, I'd say I've lost about 8 pounds. I've gotten stronger. I put on a bit more muscle, and it's all been thanks to my diet right here. Like, I'm gonna be eating all of this food over the next 4 days, and I'm gonna be eating 11 pounds of potatoes, just a fuck ton of food. And the way that I've been able to make my diet has made it like 10 times easier to cut. It doesn't really feel as difficult as it did before when I was cutting on chicken and rice. It tasted a lot worse. I was a lot more hungry a lot of the time. But now that I've got this new diet, it's been an absolute breeze. Like, the pounds are melting off. I'm getting stronger in my training. I'm getting more lean. Yeah, it's a very simple system to use, very simple ideas. And instead of just telling you okay guys, I'm making 4 pounds of ground beef and I'm making a fuck ton of potatoes, I want to take you through the exact thought process that I have for the cut, because the thing is, information is everywhere. You can go on Instagram and find a million different recipes on how to make tasty food that hits your macros and all this other shit. But if that actually worked, you would already have the physique that you wanted, right? The problem isn't that, it's your mindset and your understanding of how to use these tools. Because it doesn't matter how many tools that you try and give a kid, they're never going to be able to build a house. But if you give a construction worker the right tools and enough time, he's gonna build a house. So it's not so much that these recipes don't work or these recipes do, you just don't know how to use them in the right way. So I wanna take you through my entire mindset of basically how I've been able to lose about 15 pounds on this cut and still get stronger and build more muscle. The first thing you have to understand is how important carbs are gonna be on your cut. If your training takes a hit and you can't train as hard because you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to be losing muscle. And it is the time where you need to be pushing harder than ever in your training, right? And that's only possible if you're eating carbs. And I know there's gonna be all these fucking keto guys and carnivore bros talking about, oh, you need to just fucking go into ketosis. That's how you lose a lot of fat. You don't need carbs to train. Yeah, that is true. You don't need carbs to train. You need them to train well, right? There's a reason why all of the best athletes in the world always have lots of carbs, and the amount of carnivores that are professional athletes is literally in single digits, right? It's these outliers, these 1 in a million carnivores that are actually professional athletes. And it's all because of one thing, and it's just because they don't eat carbs, right? So carbs are gonna be stupidly important, and you need to make sure that your training is fueled. If you're not loading up on carbs before you train, you're just making it way harder to have a good workout, right? So you wanna make sure that you're getting a good amount of carbs and a good amount of protein as well. So I'd say about 1 gram per pound of your desired body weight, that's a good place. So for me, I'm getting about 210. I'm going a little above that, but that's also for satiety, because protein is going to be one of the best tools that you can use to help yourself stay full. But one thing I want to preface all of this with is that cutting will never be easy. It's never going to be a fun thing. There's always going to be times where you're going to be hungry, and if you go into it with this mindset that I'm going to make it super easy, it's all going to be a breeze, you're going to get the wrong expectations in your mind, and the second that something gets difficult, you're just gonna give up. You're gonna give into the cravings. You're gonna go back to the food that's been keeping you fat. You need to go into it with the mindset that, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. If I have to go to bed hungry every single day for the next 3 months, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to feel hungry so I can get this body fat off of my body. Because the thing is, your body has no fucking reason to get rid of the fat. From an evolution standpoint, getting rid of your fat is like suicide. You're getting rid of the energy that your body could use in the future. So your body's gonna do everything it can to hold on to it. So you have to understand, no matter how many tricks you use, no matter how much diet soda, no matter how much caffeine you take, and how many tricks you just use in general, it's never going to be easy. You need to set your expectations right, that it's gonna be hard work, but it's going to be worth it in a couple months when you're at the beach, you got your shirt off, you're looking good, you can finally see your abs. It's going to be hard work. Don't let anybody fool you into anything else. It's not easy, you're going to have to work for it, but it's going to be worth it. But there are things you can do to make it easier, but you just have to understand that it's never going to be easy. It's still going to be hard work. Even though I've optimized almost all the things I can for this cut, it still feels difficult sometimes. 2 days ago, I went to bed very hungry. I wanted to cheat on my diet, just go eat something, right? But I didn't. I stayed on plan and I decided that I wasn't going to miss. And that's exactly what you need to do. Now also, the most important thing out of, diet, anything else, is that you just make that mental commitment to yourself. Because if you're not fully committed to it, you're not going to put in the necessary reps. Like the reward has to be good enough, and you have to fully commit. And once you do that, once you fully commit, accept that it's going to be hard work, and you're ready to move forward, that's how you can start implementing more things to help you out. So let me show you real quick what I'm going to be eating. So the things I'm going to be eating over these next 4 days is 11 pounds of potatoes. I'm going to be eating a lot of ground beef, a lot of carrots, a lot of bell peppers, and onions. Now, the reason why this combination works so well is, one, it's very high protein. And I'll also preface this with saying, like, I eat 4 eggs for breakfast every single day, and I just save my calories for later in the day. So I'll usually have like my first big meal here at around, I want to say around like 11, 12. That's when I have my first big meal. I just have those eggs in the morning with some caffeine just to keep me full, keep my hunger down. So then the rest of the day I can just eat a lot, and it makes it way easier. Like if I have 2,000 calories to eat and it's already past 1 p.m., I know for a fact I'm not going to go over. But the dumbest thing you can do is just waste all your calories in the morning on a big breakfast. You absolutely shouldn't be doing that. It's just one of the dumbest things you can do. So the thing about this diet that makes it work so well is, one, there's the protein, so it keeps you full. And then 2, there's lots of fiber and lots of food volume. If I was gonna eat the same amount of calories in jasmine rice that I do in potatoes, it would be way less volume. And the nice thing about potatoes is that they're mostly water. Plus they have a lot of fiber, so they keep you full. Like they take up a lot of space in your stomach, and it's one of the absolute best tools that you can use. Just volume maxing. It's the same with these carrots. They take up a lot of space, but they don't really have that many calories. Same with the bell peppers, same with the onions. It gives it a good taste while taking up a lot of space. Another thing I love is these. Just put this on the meat. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Mwah, chef's kiss. So the way that I schedule my meals in the day is that my first meal is just gonna be 4 eggs. I do something called carb fasting. So in the morning, I'll just eat very satiating foods like eggs, which is high in protein and fats, keeps you full until around lunchtime, 1 p.m. That's when I'll dig into my first big meal of the day. So basically almost like intermittent fasting, but still making sure I get my protein in the morning. And I'll just have these 2 meals and my pre-workout meal if I'm training that day. And that's basically it. It's very simple, very effective, and basically eating the same things every single day has also been another huge hack, because we as people, we're creatures of habits. Us as people, we have 5 go-to meals that we're always eating. So if you can just switch it out with a meal that you can eat every single day, maybe twice a day, like me, you're just gonna get used to eating it after a while. And it's just gonna become the new routine that you just keep eating the same foods again and again, and consistency basically becomes like an afterthought. It just comes so easily, right? And that's if you prep all your food in advance and just get used to eating the same things every single day. That's been another huge thing that's helped me. Now, can you have the occasional cheat meal? Yes. I might eat off plan I usually eat off plan maybe once a week. Now this week has been pretty bad. My brother's been visiting. We got some pizza yesterday. Well, I didn't have any meal prep left over, so I've just kind of been winging it with food for today. But that's also the exact reason why I'm meal prepping, so I can set my future self up, just to make it easier for future me to just be locked in with his diet. But yeah, in terms of cheat meals, if you eat off plan once or twice a week, it's not the end of the world as long as you don't turn into a complete fat fuck and just eat like a pig, right? So yeah, that's basically my mindset behind eating everything I've been eating to get leaner, stronger, and really made this cut way easier for me. So I'm gonna go down about 5 more pounds, and it's back to the bulk. Gotta get ready for my powerlifting competition where I'm competing in the 200-pound category. So I got some weight to gain for that, but yeah. Hope you guys found this helpful. Gonna get some meal prep in here. And yeah, take care, boys. God bless.